Mr. Speaker, we should do away with this taxation. And this culture of double taxation is killing the business in our counties. Because if you are buying machine cut stones in Thika, before you enter Nakuru, they want you to pay cess. Before you enter Wasingishu, they want to pay you cess. Before you enter Nandi, they want to pay you cess. Mr. Speaker, we are killing the spirit of business by encouraging double taxation. And therefore, this country will not, Mr. Speaker, will not grow because of double taxation. And therefore, I want to encourage this issue of levies must stop. Because the reading of Article 209 and 210, in as much as, Mr. Speaker, that we need to arrogate powers to Parliament. Parliament must be self to alive to economic realities. If farmers continue or people who deal with coffee, Mr. Speaker, you know what happens? The people who do coffee business, they don't care. They will just arrogate those taxes to the farmer. And tell the farmer we would have paid 250 shillings per kilo, but because taxation is high, we will just pay you 200 shillings because we have to pay that taxation. So I want to say there was lack of wisdom in introduction of this taxation part, Mr. Speaker, because Kenyans are tired with taxes. We only grow this country by creating an enabling environment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on point number 4 is on the issue of SRC, Mr. Speaker. We are overstretching the mandate of Salaries and Remuneration Commission. The business of SRC that was envisaged by the Constitution was very clear, to advise. Mr. Speaker, you know our cooperative societies in our villages, some of them run on losses. Some of them are being run by charity, where directors or people who run coffee societies are supporting as part of giving back to the community. If SRC today says people who run coffee societies should be paid 25,000, some of the coffee societies I know in Nandi County do not have that capacity. And why are we overstretching the mandate of SRC? SRC has never accounted for anything that they do. You remember, Mr. Speaker, they did frustrate members of County Assembly, MCAs. I have never seen it. When it started in 2013, Mr. Speaker, the money that was being won was more than 150. Now they have cut it down to 8. We are giving SRC powers that do not have. We should not allow SRC, Mr. Speaker, to do anything because they are the ones that their work is to advise based on the economy performance. So when you introduce SRC, Mr. Speaker, on the role that we are having, Mr. Speaker, is very unfair. Farmers, let allow coffee, the issue of SRC, Mr. Speaker, let them allow the coffees to be run by the board's managements that we have, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, another factor, Mr. Speaker, this one is on SRC Board of Directors, shall be paid as SRC Commission shall determine. Mr. Speaker, let us allow coffee is on its dead need. Let us allow the coffee to regulate itself and agree because I don't know why members of National Assembly will want to introduce this issue of SRC in this. SRC, their work is to advise. They are not to, and you know we have had run-ins, both at the legislative, and they have overstretched their mandate, Mr. Speaker. In fact, I'm bringing an amendment, Mr. Speaker, that we should make SRC part-time because I think they are too idle in their offices. Until nowadays, they have realized the bogeymen or bogey women is to just review salaries of politicians in this country. We must make them, they only meet 4 times a year, and we can make part-time because they are changing vehicles, the salaries they give themselves, because no one, who will watch the watcher, Mr. Speaker? Who will watch the watcher? No one will watch. And you know they say when your goat gets lost, the smell of the stew in your neighbors, you become suspicious over it. So, Mr. Speaker, the watcher must be watched, Mr. Speaker, going into the future. Mr. Speaker, let us support these farmers. I want to say I reject in capital letters this motion, Mr. Speaker. Let's go to the mediation for the benefit of a coffee farmer in Kabirer, somewhere in Tindred, Mr. Speaker. Let us stand up for a coffee farmer in Kamunge, in Masab Sub-County, in Nandi County, Mr. Speaker. Let us go for this, Mr. Speaker, for a farmer somewhere in Wazingishu, Mr. Speaker, for a farmer in Kipkelion, for a farmer in Muranga, Mr. Speaker, for a farmer in Antiba Iju, in Meru, Mr. Speaker, for the benefit of this nation. We must reject this motion until and unless, Mr. Speaker, we agree or now we can. Mr. Speaker, I am offering, and it's good the majority leader is here. I hope I will not miss in the mediation committee. Because I need to educate some members of National Assembly on how coffee issues should be handled in this issue, Mr. Speaker. With those very many remarks, I totally reject this motion with everything that I have. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, Honorable Senators, before I call the mover to respond, I have the following communication to make. I'd like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting teachers and pupils from Chania Primary School in Nyeri County. The delegation comprises 6 teachers and 40 pupils who are in the Senate for a one-day academic exposition. We also have visiting teachers and pupils from Huhoini Comprehensive School. The delegation comprises 6 teachers and 51 pupils. This school is also from Nyeri County and is on a one-day academic exposition at the Senate. Now, Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon the Senator for Nyeri County to extend a word of welcome, that to be done under 1 minute. You may proceed, Senator Wamating.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to welcome the pupils from Shania Comprehensive School and Huhoini Comprehensive School, both in Nyeri County. Mr. Speaker, sir, some of us, when we sponsor such as students to come and visit us in the Senate, it's because we want to give them the kind of exposure of what goes on around here. We want to also give them an opportunity to get inspired so that one day when they are set to the offices such as ours, they can be good leaders. Mr. Speaker, sir, Nyeri County is renowned for having produced some of the best leaders, among them being Mwai Kibaki. When I look at the pupils up there, Mr. Speaker, I see potential Mwai Kibakis only if we as leaders also give them a good image, give them a good example, and most important, Mr. Speaker, behave as good leaders and make pronouncements that will inspire them and ensure that they get the time. Mr. Speaker, as I sit down, it is also indeed very important to acknowledge the role that education plays in this country. Mr. Speaker, we've seen through parliamentary diplomacy in the countries that we go that we've met many Kenyan students who've become renowned in foreign countries because of the good education they've received. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity to welcome both Chania and Huhoini Comprehensive Schools and wish them that they'll get a fruitful day and that they get to take something home. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wakoli, you may now respond, having moved this motion.
Honorable Speaker, I want to appreciate the contribution of honorable members on this coffee bill. It elicits a lot of emotions across the country. Honorable Speaker, we were with the Minister for Cooperatives, Honorable Oparanya, in Bungoma on Friday. He had a real taste of the feeling and the suffering of the farmer in Bungoma, Honorable Speaker. We visited Chesikaki Coffee Mills. We visited Msese Coffee Mills. And in Chesikaki, we had about 4,000 farmers. In Msese, we had 3,500 farmers, Honorable Speaker. And what members are raising legitimate concerns. And on behalf of the committee, I want to assure honorable members that the input, the advice, and their contribution will be put into proper use to ensure that this bill comes to pass. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I want to reply. Thank you.
Chair Agriculture, maybe get guidance from the clerk.
Honorable Speaker, I want to request that we can defer putting of the question to a later date. Then we proceed, Honorable Speaker. We ring the bell and deal with it. Thank you.
Who is advising the bill to Mbilan? Not you, you are done, Chairman, you are done, Chair. I request that Sanjay Adams ring the quorum bell for 5 minutes. Honorable Senators, can we now resume our seats? Honorable Senators, the robbing is over, so I want to put the question. Senator Modigi, Senator Chalegei, Majority Whip. Honorable Senators, now that we have quorum, Senator, our good senators, Honorable Senators, I now put the question that the National Assembly, honourable members, Honorable Senators, I put the question that the National Assembly amendments to the Coffee Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of 2023, be now considered. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The nays have it. Honorable Senators, you know these Kamkunjis are not, last week we had a very comprehensive Kamkunji, and we sorted all the issues that were raised by the members. So let us make progress on today's business. So Honorable Senators, from under number 11, 12, 13, and 14, we are deferring that business, and then we are going to order number 15, clerk.
Order number 15, the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 10 of 2025, second reading.
Senate Majority Leader.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2025, be now read a second time. Mr. Speaker, this is for all intents and purpose and in full realization of what my duties are as a leader of majority in the House, the proudest of moments for every senator, because this is when we get to fulfill our constitutional mandate at its prime, which is to ensure that there are sufficient resources devolved to the county governments. Mr. Speaker, the Division of Revenue Bill is a constitutional function granted to the Senate, for which we must always take time to reflect and think deeper when we have a bill. And in the constitutional architecture, the thinking has always been that this bill begins in the National Assembly, though if it was up to me, they'd rather wait for us as the Senate to give our considered view before they input it into the budget. But given, Mr. Speaker, that this process is lost and convoluted in so many opinions and counter-opinions, not just from here, but from all corners of the country, including, nonetheless, Mr. Speaker, the Apex Court of the Land, which in 2013 gave us one reasoning which we agreed to and survived with for the last 11 years. But then last month, they gave a particular ruling which we are still struggling to understand. That is not the context, Mr. Speaker, of what I'm to speak about, but I felt that it would be impossible to move this motion, Mr. Speaker, without reflecting and looking back on what colleagues, senators need to say about this bill, the annual division of revenue. This is perhaps the most important legislative duty any senator gets to undertake in their mandate once they're elected to serve in this House, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, the division of revenue prepared in line with Article 202(1), Mr. Speaker, of our Constitution, which provides for the division of nationally raised revenue between the two levels of government, which is the national government and the county governments for the year 2025-2026. This bill provides that the division of revenue raised nationally between the national and county governments for the year 2025 and 2026 ensure that each level of government has resources necessary to ensure effective implementation of the function of the county. If there is a fight that the Senate must always have, and if there is a process we must always defend, Mr. Speaker, it is this exercise of dividing revenue between the two levels of government. Mr. Speaker, in fact, I have seen speculation in the media on what is the position of the Senate with regards to the constitutional amendment bill that is before the National Assembly, and perhaps our position on Senate Oversight Fund. We have no strong attachment to the Senate Oversight Fund. If there is something that we want properly entrenched into our Constitution, Mr. Speaker, is clarity on this issue of division of revenue. And to affirm the position of the Senate, Mr. Speaker, in terms of how much goes to our county governments. the challenges in the county governments notwithstanding, Mr. Speaker, if there has been an invention, so to speak, by way of our constitution that has ensured that we have a perhaps more stable country than what we had in the previous election cycles, Mr. Speaker, it is a simple comfort of knowing that despite the fact that there are resources at the national level that we have to fight for as a country, but at least there is 15% of that revenue that comes to our county governments, Mr. Speaker. And that is something that Senate sits proud about. And because I have seen our colleagues in the National Assembly have provided clarity, and they've said they want CDF to be at 2.5%, Mr. Speaker. If there is to be concurrence from this House, then, Mr. Speaker, it is affirming the position of what is the exact percentage on the specific financial year, Mr. Speaker, must always go to the counties. This business of the last audited financial accounts, Mr. Speaker, is something that has left counties wallowing in deep debt, Mr. Speaker, and having resources that are not sufficient to run the operations. Therefore, if our colleagues feel that 2.5% is sufficient of every national budget, Mr. Speaker, then let us have that 15% or 20%, Mr. Speaker, be the bare minimum, as such that when the budget is laid in the National Assembly, you know for a fact that that amount of money will go to our county governments, Mr. Speaker. That will be a beautiful trade-off. 2.5% for CDF, 20% for devolution, Mr. Speaker. And that will be a proper conversation to have. I know there are conversations about, oh, you know, by the time of laying the budget, it depends on how revenue will perform, and so on and so forth, Mr. Speaker. But what about CDF? How comes you want to entrench it, Mr. Speaker, at a particular percentage? Reflect back to the, Mr. Speaker, the budget that has been passed in the last few years. 3.4, 3.6 trillion, Mr. Speaker, yet only 300 billion plus, or 400 billion the last few years. That's on or about 13 or 14% of that particular resources, or just barely 15 of that budget goes to counties, Mr. Speaker. We need to set the threshold and agree, not forgetting, not blindsided, Mr. Speaker, of all the challenges that are in our county governments, but knowing that the first conversation is let us devolve the resources first. We will go and deal with the issues of the thieving governors, Mr. Speaker. But let us first send the resources to the counties. In any case, it's not that it is for lack of thieves at the national government that those resources remain here. Thieves are everywhere, Mr. Speaker. And EACC must do their job, Mr. Speaker. And in fact, on that account, as we move this, you know, today I saw headlines in the Nation and the Standard, where the editors are telling us, Mr. Speaker, that there is a fight back, I don't know, from the president with regards to his critics. Maybe the editors of the Nation and the Standard, Mr. Speaker, needs to give us the list of who are these citizens that are above the law. That if you become a Ruto critic, Mr. Speaker, then you can do anything and there should be no recourse to you in law. I thought a criminal is a criminal, Mr. Speaker. If you are found to have broken the law, Mr. Speaker, it doesn't matter which side of the political divide you support. And I thought it is as basic to that level, Mr. Speaker, and those are the basic tenets of any democracy, Mr. Speaker. This smallness of our politics that is being perpetuated by our newspapers, particularly the Standard newspaper, Mr. Speaker, and of lately the Nation, Mr. Speaker, is what continues to drag this country behind. We must rise above petty politics, Mr. Speaker. If a governor has been found, Mr. Speaker, and the institutions of oversight, the EACC and the DPP, are satisfied, Mr. Speaker, that that particular individual is misappropriating resources that have been directed to the county government, then there are constitutional processes, Mr. Speaker, that must commence, devoid of politics, Mr. Speaker, either in support or against, Mr. Speaker. And it's not the first time, anyway, that a governor is being tried, Mr. Speaker. How many governors have been arrested since 2013, Mr. Speaker? So there shouldn't be a special exception that there are governors who should be untouchable on account of the fact that they are critics of the government. What kind of reasoning is that, Mr. Speaker, that is being perpetuated by our leading newspapers? Anyway, back to the topic, Mr. Speaker, on division of revenue. under clause 4 of the bill, it stipulates that revenue raised nationally in respect of financial year 2025-2026, which is the financial year that you're about to go, shall be shared equitably among the national and county governments in accordance with the schedule of the bill. Then clause 5 will provide that the actual revenue raised nationally falls short of the expected revenue set out in schedule. The national government shall bear the shortfall. This goes without saying, and that's why, Mr. Speaker, if you listened to me earlier, I had proposed only 15 or 20%. So that if you have a significant shortfall, Mr. Speaker, at least, because in the first instant you had taken 80% of the national budget and left it at the national government, Mr. Speaker, when there is a shortfall, then they should bear the responsibility, Mr. Speaker. And I must appreciate that that has always been the case, Mr. Speaker, save for unique moments when we've had challenges, like last year, Mr. Speaker, when with failure to assent of the finance bill, Mr. Speaker, there was a significant drop in nationally raised or expected revenue by close to 400 billion, Mr. Speaker, and therefore we had to review downwards what we had actually proposed in DORA. And if you recall, late last year, towards November, we had to do a new set of division of revenue bill. I can't get the figures exactly. I think members of the Budget and Finance Committee will recall that we had to do that, Mr. Speaker. The clause 6 of the bill, Mr. Speaker, provides that if the actual revenue raised nationally exceeds the projected revenue set out in the schedule, this has never happened, and it will be Christmas, Mr. Speaker, or Ramadan, if you want to put it, Mr. Speaker, if this was ever to happen, that we raise more than the projected revenue, what will happen in such a situation? The excess revenue shall accrue to the national government and may be used to reduce borrowing or pay debts. It's just a balance, Mr. Speaker, that if there was to be a shortfall, you bear the burden. But then again, if you're to get a windfall and raise excess revenue beyond what you had projected, Mr. Speaker, this has never happened in all those years, and I don't see the chance of it happening, Mr. Speaker. But if it was to happen, then that becomes something for the, what is it called, the Treasury, Mr. Speaker, to manage our budget books better. I will be looking with more detail what will be the fiscal deficit, because that's the indicator, Mr. Speaker, of how much, what will be the eventual budget that will be projected before we eventually agree on this issue of division of revenue. If the fiscal deficit, and I want our colleagues in the National Assembly to hear me loud and clear, if the fiscal deficit is above 4.5%, then we have no reason why we shouldn't be sending upwards of 420 to 430 billion to the counties, Mr. Speaker. And I will be speaking to that later when eventually they lay their report on the floor of the House next week. I can't speak for now, Mr. Speaker, because I don't know eventually what they will agree, but we'll be waiting for the report of the Budget Committee of the National Assembly. But my point and my argument, which I shall be pushing on the floor of this House, as somebody who follows our budget-making process keenly, who understands it, Mr. Speaker, and knows what ought to be the balance between what is shared nationally and what is shared at the county governments, my argument, Mr. Speaker, is that at a 4.5% fiscal deficit, then 430 is possible, Mr. Speaker. Should it be reduced downwards, then we can have a conversation about the figures that I hear being mentioned by our colleagues in the National Assembly, because it means there is limited fiscal space, Mr. Speaker. But we cannot have a situation where we are allowing the National Treasury to borrow significant or colossal amounts of money, Mr. Speaker, while sending to counties very few resources. Mr. Speaker, you will recall, and I wish Senator Moses Kajwang, the chair of CPIC, was here with us, that due to the court ruling, we met here towards the end of the session, and we received the audit reports of many of our counties, and we passed them one afternoon and raised comments and said we shall find mechanisms through ways and means of addressing that particular challenge, Mr. Speaker. You will recall that we, as a Senate, raised a concern that if many of our county governments, all the 47 of them without fail, were business entities, Mr. Speaker, we'd be concerned that most of them, or all actually, are not growing. And anything, the rule of life, Mr. Speaker, is that if you're not growing, then you're actually dying. It only depends the speed at which you're dying. Could be a quick one, a slow one, but if you're not growing, Mr. Speaker, what are the indicators of growth, Mr. Speaker? And we said that many of our counties are not raising significant amount of funds in on-source revenue. We raised the fact, Mr. Speaker, that many of our counties, Mr. Speaker, I think it was about 34 out of 47, are actually doing more than 50% of the devolved, of their shareable revenue to pay recurrent expenditure, Mr. Speaker. Actually, less than 10 out of 47 counties, Mr. Speaker, spend more than 25% of their shareable revenue on actual development, which is the statutory edict as per Schedule 4 of the PFM Act Regulation 25, Mr. Speaker. And that is a conversation which I have kept on challenging my colleagues who serve in budget and finance. I know the Vice Chair is in the House, though she's not listening to what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker. And I hope that one day they will lead this House into a proper conversation about what needs to happen. Because this is something that should be of concern to any senator. If out of these funds, it makes no sense, colleagues, to fight for 400, 450, while 90% of that funds, Mr. Speaker, ends up being misappropriated. Why should we fight to send 450 billion, for example, to the counties, Mr. Speaker, if more than 50% goes to pay hardly 300,000 or 400,000 citizens, Mr. Speaker, to the exclusion of the millions of others? If you go to a county like Meru, and I don't know what the population of Meru, for example, is, Mr. Speaker, simple mathematics, I want to believe maybe upwards of 1.5 or nearly 2 million, because Meru is a fairly large county, Mr. Speaker. 1.6 million, Mr. Speaker. If out of your shareable revenue, Mr. Speaker, of upwards of 10 billion, your governor ends up spending more than 50% of it to pay employees who are barely 4,000 or 5,000 in that particular, what are you telling the rest, the 1.55 million citizens that don't work in the counties? And I have been pushing that as a House, we must have this conversation. And you know, it's simple, it's populist, Mr. Speaker, to say I've employed so-and-so. You know, nowadays, in fact, governors have found a new way of explaining. They hide behind very popular employment initiatives. I have picked young people. You know, I have to employ them as revenue officers so that we get more revenue. Or I have picked nurses. I have picked this or the other, Mr. Speaker. While it may sound logical, commerce has no sense. No, commerce has no feeling, Mr. Speaker. It has sense only. You either do the right thing or you fail. It doesn't matter the intention. It doesn't matter how emotional you are about it, Mr. Speaker. If at the end of the day, you're not managing your resources prudently as a county government, Mr. Speaker, the results will show very quickly. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I really want to request our colleagues to reflect deeply on this particular matter as we think about division of revenue and the things that we need to do, Mr. Speaker. The final part of this, Mr. Speaker, is that the Schedule 6 allocates a total of 2.835 trillion, Mr. Speaker, as follows. National government remains with 2.4 trillion. Equalization fund gets 10 billion and 405 billion to county governments, Mr. Speaker. I know the Budget and Finance Committee has thought through this process. They have proposed an even higher figure. As the Vice Chair comes to second, Mr. Speaker, I'm sure she will speak to the House and tell us what is their proposal before we eventually agree with them or see what to do. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, it will be unfair of me, knowing that this is something that many colleagues want to comment on and share their thoughts, particularly on all these issues that continue to face our county governments, Mr. Speaker, for me not to yield the floor so that colleagues can speak to this particular bill, particularly being guided by the report that was tabled by the Budget and Finance Committee which I want to believe by now, Mr. Speaker, has been shared with us in the official channels of the House. Therefore, with those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request Senator Tabitha Mutinda, who's the Vice Chairperson of the Budget Committee of the Senate, to second and take us home with regards to the 2025 Division of Revenue Bill. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Vice Chair on Budget and Finance, Senator Mutinda.
Kindly give me the mic. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to second our bill, the Division of Revenue 2025. I really want to start by appreciating the Majority Leader. I've been keen on the sentiments and the submissions and the contributions that he has been able to highlight. But allow me, Mr. Speaker, to actually start by appreciating all the stakeholders that worked with us on this annual discussion of Division of Revenue, Mr. Speaker, led by the COG Chair, Governor Hamed of Wajir, the National Treasury, led by the Minister himself, Honorable Mbadi. CRA, we've worked very closely with them, up and including, apart from the issue of this Division of Revenue, also on the upcoming formula that we look forward to discuss on Thursday. There was also the Institute of Certified Accountants, that is ISPAC, Budget Hub. I can't forget, Mr. Speaker, also the County Assemblies Forum that we always engage very closely. Kenyan Devolution Civil Society and the Coast Civil Society Networks for Human Rights, they also did their submissions, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I find it also, it's important to state all these stakeholders because the views, the conclusion, the recommendations that we are making to this House as a committee, Mr. Speaker, have been a process that we've engaged these very key stakeholders on the different areas that we focus on, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the bill indicates the projected revenue for financial year 25-26 at 2.8 billion, Mr. Speaker. But when the Minister for Finance appeared before the committee, he indicated a downward revised projection from 2.8, Mr. Speaker, to 2.756 billion. That is the downward projected revenue that this minister indicated in the committee when he appeared. And I'm pronouncing this, Mr. Speaker, because of course now with from 2.8 to 2.8 trillion to 2.7 trillion, then of course figures will change. Because you note very well, National Treasury and the National Assembly Committee of Budget proposed 405 billion for counties' equitable share. Unlike what we proposed, which I'll indicate very shortly, Mr. Speaker. The bill also indicated that the proposed county equitable share is to 25.79% of the most recent audited financial reports. And I want to emphasize on this, Mr. Speaker, because as a committee, we've really been pushing that the Committee of Finance at the National Assembly be able to approve the audited reports, because the Constitution is clear in terms of us using the last audited reports. And if the reports are not, approved, audited and approved, then it becomes difficult, but that was done, and whereby the amount is 1.5 billion. With this 1.5 billion, Mr. Speaker, then the equitable share percentage increases to 21%. The required is 15%, and so with the last audited reports approved of financial year 2020-2021, the amount is 1.5, which gives it about 21% from the 15. So it meets the required 15%, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Having said that, Article 204 of the Constitution is quite very clear in establishing what we call the equalization fund, into which it shall be paid 1.5% of all the revenue collected by the national government in each year. Mr. Speaker, we've been on this table, on this floor of the House, still on the issue of the equalization fund, a matter that is very important for all the counties, Mr. Speaker. There have been arrears when it comes to the issue of the equalization fund. I've tabled before this House the deficits, what has been remitted by National Treasury, and where we are as far as these deficits are concerned. And they should not be confused that the equalization fund is also part of the equitable share, Mr. Speaker. In consideration, Mr. Speaker, the committee was very cognizant, okay, of the budget policy that we did a few months ago for 2025. We did a recommendation. Our recommendation, Mr. Speaker, of 465 billion is based on the factors that we were able to consider, Mr. Speaker. For us to have concluded to 465, Mr. Speaker, there were factors that led to this. What I remember also, the proposal by the governors, the COG, they proposed actually 536 billion. But we proposed 465 billion. Why, Mr. Speaker? And this is where I want to